There was this Italian economist named Carlo Cipolla, and he wrote a book called The Basic Laws of Human Stupidity. And in the book, he says there are four kinds of people. He says there are what he calls helpless people. Helpless people are those who benefit others, but they bring a loss to themselves. There are intelligent people who benefit others while they benefit themselves as well. There are bandits who he says benefits themselves while bringing loss to others. And then he says there are what he calls stupid people. And those are people who bring loss to themselves and loss to others. And he says that there are always going to be more stupid people in the population than you give credit for. Because people who have any amount of intelligence, they can't even imagine why stupid people would do something that hurts themselves and hurts others, just brings total destruction. Now, don't shoot the messenger. I know some people don't like the idea of calling people stupid. I think the better word is the word King Solomon uses, where he talks about people who are foolish or walk in folly, which is what I think he's talking about in Ecclesiastes 2:12-14. He says, "So I turned to consider wisdom and folly. For what can the man do who comes after the king? Only what has already been done. Then I saw that there is more gain in wisdom than in folly, as there is more gain in light than in darkness. The wise person has eyes in his head, but the fool walks in darkness." I think Solomon here is coming to the same conclusion as Carlo Cipolla. He's saying, look, there's always going to be people who choose foolishness. And if you've got any amount of wisdom where you're trying to help others while help yourself, you're going to go, why would anyone be so self-destructive? In another verse, King Solomon says, hey, a companion of fools suffers harm. He says that in Proverbs. So this is the challenge we face constantly. And this is what I think King Solomon's talking about. He says, look, there are always going to be fools, but it looks like maybe the fools are benefiting or like they're getting away with their, walking oblivious to what they're doing. But he says wisdom is always better because wisdom helps you stop unnecessary suffering in life. It brings benefit to you and those around you. There's inherent value in living wisely, even if you're surrounded by fools. So what you got to do is you got to do your best to buffer yourself from fools. There are people that are always just going to bring destruction to themselves, bring destruction to others, and you can't figure out why they're doing it. You can't make sense of it, but it's still better for you to walk in wisdom for you and your family. That's the question I think we have to face today is, hey, what does walking in wisdom look like in my life? How do I use God's principles to make sure I'm not only lifting up my family and myself, but lifting up others in the process? And I think that's the beautiful thing about God's principles is when we follow them, it helps everyone in our lives. So much wisdom in King Solomon. It sounds cynical for him to say, oh, there's foolish people, but that's a reality we have to deal with. Our goal is to be wise. I want to encourage you, man, share this with somebody that maybe needs to hear it. Maybe you've got a fool in your life that needs to hear this. I'll be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube every day this month going through the wisdom of Ecclesiastes. I encourage you to follow, like, and share this with somebody. Have a great week.